All right, welcome back to ClanTour 2.0 coverage, the final best of one of the day here for the round of 16. After this, we will know our top 8 teams, where it then starts to get into a best of 3 format, all the way to those grand finals, where we're looking at a best out of 5. But final game for the day, and yes, I'm BreakyCPK, joined by ezfullclan as my co-commentator. Looking forward to a fun finish here. We definitely had an exciting match in that previous one. We'll see if this one's maybe a little more even, but if anything, to be just as entertaining, expecting a lot of fighting. We got the Pandas versus okay. That's what I'm going to go by, at least. That's a fun name right there, on the Hellborn side at least. But yeah, the Pandas on the Legion side, and they have some fun names over there. But as we're aware, especially WYG, or What You Got, he is that is him indeed over there on the Legion side. So I'm looking forward to calling out all of his mistakes.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that. And I like the inflection that you put on, okay, couldn't have done it better myself.
Makes sense. It just feels right to say it that way.
But yeah, these are two, west side of the pond teams, right? Both these teams are from Canada or the United States, if I'm not mistaken. Except for one member, maybe I don't really know too much about the people on AOK, but I think Ramati is on the Pandas as well. And so both of the casters that were casting the previous, 6 games for the day? That was a lot. Are on the Liltealpanda team. So.
All right. So yeah, they might be a little exhausted from the commentating. It's not, especially 6 games. I mean, that's quite a lot. But no, I'm sure they're gamers. I'm sure they'll be fine as far as being ready to play in here. So
I'm sure they've got their energy drinks and their Cheetos right at their keyboard. Just kidding.
Exactly. Their Mountain Dew's ready to go. Yes, that Baja Blast on call. Aluna, first pick though.
I just wanted to comment on the Baja Blast. Man, that brings me back. I don't have much Taco Bell anymore, but whew.
I'm a man of culture, yes.
Rhapsody.
Yeah, Aluna and Rhapsody. All right. We didn't talk about the bands last time, but Moira, Tempest, Electrician, and King Cloud. So, wait, there's 3 bands on each team now, right? Magmus, Clout, and Thunderbringer banned by the Pandas, and Moira, Tempest, and Electrician banned by AOK. Yeah, a lot of those bands seem to make sense to me. They're new based off of whenever I last casted, but that's because of the shifting meta, right? I was actually having a side conversation with you prior to casting about Thunderbringer. That hero is insane now with Grimoire of Power, so it makes sense why they went ahead and removed it from the game. This game.
I was looking at the hero list before we got into the casting here today, and I know it's like pub stats and stuff, but yeah, Thunderbringer has the highest win percentage right now.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
Of all heroes, yeah.
Yeah, I think that Thunderbringer is a great hero, coupled with the potential of Kongor buffs, right? The 4% damage per Kong kill. That hero's damage output can just be too much over the course of a long game.
Mm-hmm. All right, but he's not in this game.
Right.
We got other heroes to talk about. Benzington, Pharaoh, and then Cthulhu Font on the other side.
Yeah, let's see what rounds out the third pick for the Hellborn side before they jump into bans. Right now, I like both teams' lineup. Pharaoh is an extremely fun hero, kind of similar to Clout with the long-range initiation on the ulti. Much shorter cooldown, though. A little bit less efficacy in terms of what it can bring later in the game. But the Wrath of the Pharaoh is a strong tool, and I'm not really sure. I actually know several of the players on the Panda team, but I don't really recognize them except for like What You Got, because it's in his Panda name. But based off of the roster, like I know kind of where these heroes are going if I know who the players are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I didn't actually realize that the third pick for Hellborn doesn't come up until after the banning phase. So yeah, the bans got Defiler, Ophelia, and Silhouette taken out by AOK, and Dark Lady, Kraken, Predator removed by the Panda squad. So, and then a third pick, Deadwood. How do you feel about Deadwood? I mean, it's always a fun hero, right?
Good old Falcon Punch. Yeah, this is he's a classic. He's just old school Han for me, and one that's very entertaining to commentate with. I will say I know he's gone through transitions though in the sense of kind of his role. For the longest time, he was that mid role, but then he transitioned more to like a support hero for a bit. So I guess I don't know where he's going to be here necessarily. Maybe he will be that support in the end, or with the Andromeda pick, probably more of that core. I would guess.
Yeah, yeah, it does look like either a mid or an off lane Deadwood, but you might be able to see him in a dual lane. Actually, this looks like a mid Deadwood to me. If I had to guess, I think Cthulhufont's going with somebody and Deadwood's taking the mid lane. But man, all right, Balfagor and Dragon. So
push.
Balfagor, extremely fun hero to watch. We'll see what gosh, I want to call them the Panda Squad, but they're just called the Pandas. So we'll see what the Pandas are able to do with Balfagor in their arsenal. I mean, like you said, it's extremely strong push hero, and it's actually Balfagor to me is just like this hero that forces the issue, and it's really scary because of the way that you actually don't really need to build a push team around him. Like he just pushes by himself.
Oh no.
And then because of that, if the other team has to deal with his corpse conversion units by means of like creep clearing with abilities, his team fight becomes really scary with the stored up charges on Hell on Newerth. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to big Hell on Newerth splashes.
Well, and kind of to that point, the Hellborn team, up until that final pick at least, was lacking a little bit. I guess with Rhapsody they had some, but the point is maybe some clearing for those corpse conversions and stopping that push a little bit. Now Corrupted Disciple brings the Electric Tide on top of that, so they do have a fair amount now, I think you could say, as far as trying to deal with it. But it's one of those, it's a lot easier said than done. Just because in theory you should be able to doesn't mean you can necessarily stop it. What you got is going to be the one playing the Balfagor, as we are now loading officially into the game. But yeah, that mixed with the Draconis, who can also bring some split lane pushing presence himself. This Hellborn side is, okay. They're going to have to really be on top as far as maneuvering and paying attention to how the map is being controlled.
I'm kind of curious exactly how they're going to lane the heroes on the Legion side. I think that Dragon is going into the jungle, but Balfagor is also kind of a jungle hero these days. One of the big changes, if I'm not mistaken, that he got on corpse conversion is I think it gains 3 charges when you skill the ability now, so you can actually spawn creeps immediately upon skilling the ability, which is not something that was available to him previously. So I think he's actually has potential to be a level 1 jungle hero. I mean, he already kind of did, but it was a little slow just because you didn't have the minions up.
Yeah, interesting. By the way, as we come into the pause, similar to last game, we could have a huge clash early on. Not necessarily that pain train setup, but okay, they are making their way in. Andromeda, Comet Stun, trying to get a range of a Luna? No, just a little too far. I think Liltealpanda should be fine. As I say that, the Comet Stun comes out, the grasp, it will catch! And so maybe not so fine to Luna. The charge on 3 for Cthulhufont. They want this Luna dead, damn it, and they will get the kill in the end. So, first blood.
All right, first blood coming out in favor of AOK. Unfortunately, the Joust Stun missed for a potential return kill, but it is what it is. So, little advantage coming out for the Hellborn. See how they ride it out, and if it snowballs.
So it is going to be the Deadwood mid. So yeah, I'm with you. It's very curious to see how the lanes on both sides really set up here. Corrupted Disciple, of course, going to the safe lane top. We'll be through the fun on the off lane for the Hellborn side, so maybe not as crazy for them. But Balfagor right now is setting up in the safe lane currently. Bensington heading mid, and Draconis is looking like may just go the jungle route. So safe lane Balfagor, it seems to be the play here.
Yeah, I really agree with this play. I've actually ran safe lane Balfagor in my TMM games and in a couple of matches in yesteryear. So it's actually pretty fun. It has a lot of potential to snowball and force the issue around the 10 to 12 minute mark. Just start taking all the towers. And if the Hellborn side doesn't actually build their heroes properly, and rotate accordingly, it can actually just result in too much of a gold advantage for the Balfagor's team.
So
And
kind of
eventually
interesting. Well, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, and then eventually, so you just take the 6 outer towers, and then you start, you just start pressuring one of the tier 3s, and you basically never leave.
I like it. Make this sounds like casual. Yeah, just take the 6 outer towers and then just start pushing them. It's that easy.
Pretty much, yeah. It's actually, it can be really hard to deal with, depending on how farmed the Balfagor is, because he's such a crazy frontliner.
So what I was gonna say though, the mid lane is interesting though here too. Rhapsody is actually protecting the Sir Bensington and maybe a mix protecting, but also really trying to deter farm from happening efficiently from Deadwood. Of course, he has that log that he can throw over and over again, try to get some last hits as well as a hatchet. But the idea being trying to lock down his farm somewhat. And right now he's 7-0 though against Bensington's 10-1. So Saphira 77 is actually doing a decent job considering the situation. I feel like, but. That's the goal at least.
I honestly think that this is as long as he doesn't start dying, I think that this is an okay 2v1 for him. It's kind of risky. They do have a double stun, a lot of damage output between Sir Bensington and Aluna, but honestly, Deadwood, he's kind of been moved out of the as a mid hero in today's meta. It's kind of unusual to see him in a mid role, but he really shines in my opinion as like an offlaner or second support, and that's just because his kit is so good for being underfarmed. I mean, Willowmaker is almost always going to have relevance no matter how farmed you are in the game. Obviously, you can be more potent if you get items like Lex Talionis, and Balfagor is actually falling maybe. Illusion Rune Andromeda was a lot of damage, but the corpse conversion heal with the regurgitate is actually going to manage to keep him alive. But back to my thought on Deadwood, I think that just being in the mid lane here, tossing some logs, getting some creep kills alongside his hatchet, and just getting the levels for the Willowmaker, I think it's actually not too bad in order for him to kind of get shut down in terms of farm, as he does get gone on.
I was gonna say Deadwood is, as you're talking about, a little bit of Caster's curse, maybe? No, he is fine and stayed alive just barely. Bottom lane, Balfagor back to, will he barely survive? And looks to be the case yet again. So still sitting on just that 1 kill we had at the initial clash. As we're now 3.5 minutes in, despite action at multiple lanes, but what you got continues to live life on the edge down here. But Balfagor again, he can do that. He's got that chalice for some regen, has the Iron Buckler, and could always regurgitate and healing up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Deadwood?
honestly, yeah, Deadwood is a little bit low, but he's doing great in this mid lane. 18-1 versus Bensington's 23-4. I mean, they are committing Aluna to sitting in this lane full time, and he's actually going to get. Oh, he's making a very risky play. I think this is going to result in his death.
There you go.
He does
Just on
steal the
through.
rune. He does get a double damage rune in his bottle, so. But yeah, that was a really ambitious rune steal there. That does result in him dying.
Yeah, but it's one of those like, yeah, it sucks to die, and sure, that's still good for the lead. But it's like, you know what? He got a free trip back to base. He's gonna regen here with a double damage rune in his bottle. He'll teleport back in full life, full mana.
It's true.
Cup half full, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And he did draw 3 players away from whatever else they were doing. Sir Bensington and Aluna from the mid lane, and Dragon, camping the rune at the spawn time, from the jungle. It's just kind of a normal thing to do, but yeah, it took three players to kill him. So you're absolutely right. Silver lining.
Exactly. Balfagor heads over to the jungle as the lane's pushing out now, so we'll pick up some more farm in there. And yeah, well, you guys, 335 gold per minute, definitely doing very well at that bottom lane in the. Well, it's been 1v2 for the most part. Cthulhuphon, on the other hand, trying to recover somewhat. Deadwood middle lane. In comes Draconis flying in. Cataclysm put down, and easy peasy on the kill right there against the Deadwood. So great rotation from your Draconis, and he'll go right back into the jungle.
Yeah, they are picking on this Deadwood. They kind of know where the available kills are at the moment and taking advantage of it. But like I said, Deadwood actually has a lot of potential if he's able. Like, really all he needs to operate is like a portal key and maybe a Lex Talionis. Everything else on top of that is pure luxury, in my opinion.
Yeah. Lex Talionis. Great item. Cthulhu Font, he's fine. They're just kind of clashing, trading blows right there. By the way, easy. We got an Alchemist Bones pick up on Corrupted Disciple. He's kind of just quietly farming up here. Look at this great jungle stack coming out. He is going to get some massive farm here. At least that's the idea. His GPM, it's going to start skyrocketing.
Yeah, and the levels. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Alchemist Bones actually affects the amount of XP that you get from a creep kill these days. So typically what you see people doing is using it on the big creeps like the Minotaurs or Vagabond Leaders, etc., to maximize their XP gain pre-level 16. And then after that, they kind of just start transmuting the lowest or the smallest creeps to get the largest amount of gold, as the gold amount is fixed independent of what creep you transmute.
Gotcha. But yeah, he's already up to 400 gold per minute, so again, it's definitely showing. And so I guess I gotta ask, the simple question is this of concern for the Legion side? Do they need to address the Corrupted Disciple sooner than later, or is it kind of, whatever, let him be?
So I was actually kind of thinking about that. Obviously, it is going to kind of propagate into some returns if he's able to keep it, keep the cooldown rolling and get, 3, 4, 5, half a dozen transmutes off. But at the same time, it sets him back 1,950 gold. And if Balfagor is able to, keep doing his thing and keep soaking some levels, and as you can see, he is 350 GPM. And they have looks like a Miss Wrath of the Pharaoh in the top lane, but there's a smoked dragon, so they actually might get a kill on this Corrupted Disciple before he's able to get another item. Oh, the Dragon's Breath does miss, and looks like Corrupted is going to be fine. They're actually pushing forward right now. The wall goes up, the Conduit is also going.
Agreed.
Yeah, the Greed. He does fall to Dragon, and now Andromeda is in a little bit of trouble. One more auto attack does it with the rocket, and it's a double kill for Dragon and Pharaoh in the top lane. Meanwhile, Sir Bensington finding a kill in the mid lane on Deadwood. So,
oh no, I'm sitting here with my hand on my head, and I obviously no bias here, but I do feel bad for the Hellborn team. I mean, man, things were actually going decent up until right there, and you just talked about, okay, they didn't get the gank, but why did the Corrupted Disciple go back in? Why are you being so greedy with just Alchemist Bones? Obviously, that backfired big time. They lose so many, and then, of course, the mid kill happening. And now the bottom kill. Hell on Newerth coming out from Balfagor. And what you got gets his first kill in the game. So what was maybe like 1,000 or so gold difference? A minute later is now a 5,000 gold lead for the Legion side.
Get picked off. Yeah, he gets surrounded by 4. They do find a kill on the 460 gold per minute Draconis, which is a very big kill for them, as Bensington is going to catch the double stun on Rhapsody and Deadwood, and that is a quick kill on Deadwood. Deadwood just not having a great game, has died 4 times, just having a really, really tough mid lane. But yeah, so now this Alchemist Bones have kind of might be a bit of a problem, right? Because he got the cooldown refresh interrupted on it. He's basically down like a core item, or like a core laning item, something like Steam Boots or whatever else. And Balfagor hasn't died yet, is up to 430 GPM. Not really sure what he's going to buy. Maybe he'll go Gnome's Wisdom. That might be kind of interesting. I would like to see it, honestly. They have Gnome's Wisdom is a great item pickup against kind of mixed damage teams, I would say, kind of where it's like 50-50 magic damage versus physical. So. But he actually picks up an Energizer, so Energizer is excellent as it gives not only the movement speed but attack speed to everything that's in the radius of effect, so that is going to assist in his ability to push towers even faster as kind of that one-man pushing lineup. And he's just steadily farming down here.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, and obviously speed in general is always good to have against a hero like Corrupted Disciple, who relies on trying to stick next to you and sap damage, etc. And obviously the speed will ideally prevent them from happening. Clash those Draconis, gets hit by Cthulhu Font. Red stun from Aluna though. Puts Cthulhu Font in his place for at least a second or so. Draconis just out of range now, getting some regen, popping the regen rune in fact, and he'll be fine. And now Aluna gets caught, but the Cataclysm put down trying to scare them off. That's not going to scare them off. They get the kill and they'll back off. But while that was happening, top lane near the Corrupted Disciple ends up getting picked off. Looks like the Nightfall coming out from Sir Bensington to help make that kill a reality. So this Corrupted Disciple went from being, okay, he's got Alchemist Bones, you know, they're playing the long con, this is a decent strategy, to 2 deaths later in the next couple of minutes, and suddenly it's like, why do you have Alchemist Bones?
Yep. Yeah, you really have to get like 3 or 4 at least. 3 or 4 transmutes at least before you find yourself dying with the Alchemist Bones in order for them to pay off.
Well, he got a kill right there. It's obviously some great teamwork to set up that kill, but that's a big one for Corrupted. He definitely needed that.
Yeah, anything that they can do to, you know, saddle Corrupted Disciple with a little bit more golden experience, get some items, and, you know, cripple that Balfagor is better. I mean, Balfagor to me is just kind of a ticking time bomb if you don't halt his progression in the game. Which, you know, they did, but he has almost gotten that tier 2 tower in the bottom lane as they get the tier 1 in the top lane, and I expect what you got to just pour it right back to the bottom lane, but he does go in the mid lane, so they want this mid tower now, and that's going to open up tons of space for them on the map as all the tier 1 towers are going to have fallen. So they'll be able to roam into the jungle and kind of hinder the ability for Corrupted Disciple to farm safely on the map and utilize his Alchemist Bones to full effect.
Yeah, they're doing what you said earlier, ezfullclan. They're just, you know, just kill all the outer towers to start pushing the pace. You know, 5-hit strategy right here.
I'm telling you, man, Balfagor is the only hero you need to do it. It's just such a crazy hero. You know, he's got this creep wave, his own creep wave, in conjunction with the natural spawning Legion creeps right here, and they actually go on this Cthulhu font. He's going to be able to go away. They push him away from the tower, and you know, they're just going to keep working on it.
Yeah, that's like exactly. It's a zoning ultimate right there. No kill happening, but trying to prevent them from defending this tower. But it's not going to necessarily be accomplished as the whole team shows up. Trample in. They catch Balfagor. He's a meaty target, but not meaty enough. In comes the Willowkeeper and Deadwood Falcon Punch finishing the job. Nice swap there on Pharaoh. Pharaoh pulled in. He's also a beefy target, but he's trying to run. Joustin, Sir Bensington saving the day initially. Another trample on through though. Now Redpanda might be in trouble. Rhapsody ultimate coming through just in case, but here comes a Cataclysm as Draconis raining down from the skies and going for that AoE damage. 2 are dead, including Corrupted Disciple and Cthulhu. It's going to be a third, so it comes at a cost as Deadwood melts away. The burn is too much. Draconis hitting level 13 throughout that as well. And what seemed again to be somewhat decent for okay, it turns out pretty much just that, and more so, very positive, especially for this Draconis. Nice deny, by the way.
Yeah. Draconis living through all of that. I mean, it is a 3 for 3 when you look at the scoreboard, but the fact that Draconis, you know, wasn't even there for the first half and finished off the tier 2 bottom, and they also get the tier 1 mid afterwards. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough. What you got is putting damage on the mid tower, already getting it to about 70% with just an Energizer usage, as he's almost immediately pushed away from it. But even just that small time window, you can see how much damage Balfagor is able to put on these structures.
Oh.
But
that's crazy.
So I was looking at Balfagor's charges whenever he got jumped at the mid river to start that whole thing off, and I could hear what you got spamming or smashing his R button on his keyboard. He had like 90 plus charges. Yeah,
that's and that if that animation comes out, you know that they just absolutely melt right there, and that's one of the most satisfying. Honestly, that really is one of the most satisfying, at least for me, like abilities as a spectator, and also to even play as when you have that many charges going off in a big fight. It's just
especially
it feels so
when you
good.
Play. That ultimate is amazing whenever you get it off in the ideal setting.
Similar to like a shock wave on top of a huge creep wave.
Yeah, I think in one of the previous, I think, you know, one of the Han OMG tours, we saw a wonderful Balfagor ultimate. I'm sure maybe somebody in the chat has that clip kind of bookmarked. But yeah, it was a great Balfagor ulti. Probably one of the best we've seen on stream.
I also love this cosmetic. This is a classic one. Too many cookies.
Yeah.
Good old Baker Balfagor. Anyways, a good jungle stack over here by the Hellborn side. AOK is taking it out as Corrupt Disciple, more so the specific target that's trying to claim most, if not all, that farm. He's got a Liltbrand now picked up, but again, he still needs a lot of farm before he's going to be somewhat relevant and scary at this point. Deadwood, meanwhile, middle lane gets caught. Cataclysm put down. Draconis flying in. The burn taking out Rhapsody as a Joustin to finish the job. The tower is here for the Hellborn sides to defending them somewhat. Draconis, Common Stun connects, and it will get the kill, but at what cost? The hell on Newerth. There we go. That's going to feel good. 3 are dead, 4 are dead until they make it all 5. An annihilation for the team. And they'll keep on pushing that tier 2 tower. All it took was a death on Draconis, and they're going to clean up even more.
Yeah, I think Draconis is going to be plenty happy with that trade. And now the fortification was used on the tier 2, so Balfagor is going to be sinking his teeth into this tier 3. They did get all 6 before pushing high ground, but you know, as respawns are starting to happen on the Hellborn side, they are going to go ahead and take the wiser play, step away from this tier 3, and you know what? I think they're going to set their sights on that tier 2 top. It's the last one, Breaky.
They have to get that one before they can actually finish this game. That's the winning strategy, as you've been pointing out. So, but it would be even that much more impressive, honestly. It's like, you know, it's like, obviously, okay, that makes sense. That's the strategy in the long run. They're potentially going to do it pre-20 minutes into this game. I mean, we have 3 more minutes before that mark hits, and it is just that last top 2 tier tower, as you mentioned. So, I'm sure they got their eyes on it.
Yep, and you know, Balfagor is stacking the auras. He's just like I said, he's a one-man push machine, and he's also an aura bot, having the Soul's Bulwark now on top of that Energizer and Ring of the Teacher.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that feels really good. And we're going to see our first, the first Kongor of the day, of our casting day. The first match, obviously didn't have that. First one of this match. Yeah, there you go. And there is the Kongor kill. So let those buffs take place. See some movement speeds being picked up.
Yeah, almost 15k gold ahead, 12k experience ahead. It is looking pretty tough for okay to come back in this game. You know, Corrupted Disciple, gosh, he's got a Liltbrand. I don't know what, he just melts if Balfagor looks at him and he's close enough. You know, I think he's trying to go for looks like maybe a Searing Light or a Frozen Light. It's probably what he's going to go for. But yeah, I think the Liltbrand following the Alk Bones, especially after getting a little bit shafted after once he picked those bones up. Yeah, I think he needed to look for another item instead of that Liltbrand, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's like one thing to say that, oh, the guys are just saying the hindsight. It's like, not really. Kind of mentioning that from the very beginning as far as picking up the Alchemist Bones. It continues to be that risky pickup, and it's a fight that took place right out within like a minute, it felt like, after he got it, was what really set the tone for this Legion team.
It's a risky pickup in general because, well, in this particular match, because when you see Balfagor on the other team, you just have to anticipate what's coming, right? It's like, okay, there's a Balfagor on the other team. Like, before 15 minutes, the clock strikes 15 minutes, like, this guy's going to be wanting to start to push all of our towers, basically. And I'm not going to be able to leave my team in a 4v5 setting against Balfagor. I mean, like, that's just yielding every tower. So you need to be prepared to fight. And so, you know, best case scenario is you don't die before 12 to 15 minutes with those Alchemist Bones, and they kind of pay for themselves, and you get some items to follow up. But that wasn't even the case. He ended up dying shortly after getting them in fight mid.
Yeah, fight breaking out here. Pharaoh trying to save the Luna. Got caught initially. Can't save her, but it probably won't matter. As their illusions being killed, the real Andromeda finally goes down, and the turn continues in favor of the Pandas. The breath connecting, but Deadwood a little bit too far away. Be vulnerable, but yeah, while we're going on there, the top tier 2 tower was killed off, and so let's go to the base, says our Legion squad. And Balfagor once again spawning some more minions, has that offensive Soul's Bulwark kicked in. He is feeling so healthy and so full right now. We might see that coming out. What the hell on Newerth? Can he butt? Yes, he gets it off. They were trying to lock him down, not long enough. The team support there as well. The Wrath of the Pharaoh, a big part of that too. There goes Corrupted Disciple. Searing Light, he continues to be a squishy target. Hat trick even coming out in the midst of that. And they're just still fighting, though. Hellborn side doesn't want to give this up just yet. Cthulhu Font with the buyback, charging in, trampling it even. Gonna be a distraction, but it's just too much overall damage and sustain from the Pandas. But now Deadwood, he comes back in. Uproot gonna miss. Doesn't have the Willowmaker and the Silence Turn. Actually, Andromeda even stunning one of the groups right there. I don't know if that was a misclick or what, but either way, it's gonna cost her life. And I think the end is finally here for this fight, at least.
Rax hasn't fallen yet, and respawns are due. But yeah, I mean, it's getting pretty scary for the Hellborn side. Alright, that melee barracks is starting to fall. Fortification comes out, Corrupted's up, Cthulhu Font is going to follow soon. Uh-oh, Balfagor, watch out, he's got his ulti already back up, doesn't have the mana for it. Just got it. Okay, a Luna does fall. So they don't get the Rax quite yet. I mean, there's still life in AOK over there.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. It's a still life. You know, I was mentioning earlier with the light brand, you know, maybe he wants to even go for that full Dawnbringer, but then you look over at Draconis, he's already had a Dawnbringer. He's going to have even a Shrunken Head being delivered here shortly, and that kind of goes back to what I was going to say earlier. It just feels like this Corrupted Disciple just needs too many items, because, hey, a Shrunken Head himself, you know, may not be the worst thing to have either, but obviously that's even now another step to get to that as Balfagor.
Yeah, not to harp on Corrupted's item build too much, but personally, I would have liked to have seen him kind of go a tanky frontliner build. You know, obviously they have a Cthulhu Font for the tanky presence, but the reason I say that, as you know, they are getting jumped on the top lane.
Nightfall, slamming down, Rhapsody dead, Cthulhu Font. Gonna get some assistance there with the tablet push. And actually tramples back a beautiful trample on 3. They're gonna clean them up. Okay, okay. They get all 3 kills actually in the end. And the beginning of the comeback.
Here we go, MSI comeback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just to continue my thought, I would have liked to have seen kind of a tanky frontliner build, something like a Helm of the Black Legion. To just give him some HP, maybe even going into a full headdress, because his team is going to need a barrier idol. Now, obviously, Cthulhu Font would be well suited to pick up an item like that, but it's not half bad on Corrupted Disciple, as he does finish the full Dawnbringer now, so
sure.
He is in good shape to be able to run heroes down with an item like Dawnbringer and the Conduit. But I mean, he still kind of gets blown up if, you know, the wind catches him in a bad way, because just the Legion team has so much burst damage between the 5 heroes that he's got to watch out.
Yeah, I mean, he is heavily relying on his Andromeda and Rhapsody right now, which obviously any carry certainly does with their support, but at least, you know, usually you would have that some kind of savior item or, you know, some way to escape yourself if it calls for it. But no, it's pretty much like Andromeda, Rhapsody, stick on my ass, because if I die, it's 100% your fault. That's the strategy they're going for right now.
Oh,
which, you know,
man, shifting the blame.
The good old angry testy strategy right here. No, but what I was gonna say though, ezfullclan, is okay. Again, they got a nice couple of kills right there. The Dawnbringer finish, as we're talking about. Is there kind of like a timing where you do look at this Legion lineup and it's like, okay, a great early to mid game lineup. They start to fall off though a little bit, right? Or is maybe Sir Bensington's gonna still be scarier even than Draconis?
I think that Sir Bensington maybe doesn't have quite as much damage output potential as Corrupted Disciple, but you know, he's still up there, and Draconis is definitely a powerhouse as well. Draconis has such a good setup between the Dawnbringer and the Shrunken Head right now. Like, he could push for something just like a Mock and be, you know, just that a really big nuisance with an item like that. Honestly, I don't know what the Hellborn team would be able to do if you were to pick up a Mock. It would just be so much damage in team fights between him and Balfagor. I mean, you have to look at it this way. Like, yes, Corrupted Disciple might be stronger than Bensington, but Draconis and Balfagor are both so farmed that it's really kind of like a 3-core versus 1 situation. And so Corrupted Disciple, like, it's going to have to really come together for the Hellborn side in order for them to overtake this game. They don't need they need items on more than just Corrupted Disciple. They need their other 2 cores, Cthulhu Font and Deadwood, to kind of match the sort of output that Balfagor and Dragon are putting out.
Well, what do you mean? Deadwood's got his Lex Talionis and portal keys.
I said that's all he needs, but that was, a statement like that is kind of in the context of, well, my team is, has a solid footing in this game. I may have struggled in the laning phase. I didn't get the liftoff that I wanted initially, but, I've got my core items. I can kind of set up things for my teammates that are in a better situation than I. Fortunately, the whole team is struggling at this point, so, it needs to get to the point where they actually start collecting an arsenal of items that are able to rival what the Legion team has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at something like just the raw numbers, right? Like 22k gold, like that's so much item, so much value. That's like, obviously they don't have them in this game, but one thing I like to kind of gauge, how far behind is my team, or how far behind is one team versus another. When you look at a lead of 22,000 gold, that is 4 sheep sticks in gold value, right? Like, and how sheep stick can be considered one of the best items in the game. Obviously, sure, that gold isn't, hasn't gone to a single sheep stick, but it's kind of like my gauge for how far ahead your team is, right? 4 sheep sticks value ahead, like, the other team is in some serious trouble.
Yeah. 4 sheep sticks. They got the 1 Conqueror kill head. Going for a second one, but Hellborn said AOK is aware of the situation. They got the ward down even, and not going to let them have it for free by any means, so eventually scare them off. But we've gotten to a point where the Legion team, the Pandas, they've really just been controlling the map so hard, so they figured we might as well try this, if anything, to bait them out. But here we go. Wrath of the Pharaoh, Initiation, Andromeda, Tablet Forge. She has a swap. Comes in a Blade Cataclysm, jumping down with Draconis, and down goes Andromeda. She does not have buyback ready to go. A Joust with a Nightfall, and they just clean them up. Evaporation on cue for the Hellborn team. Crook's Disciple barely hit by the Hell of Newerth. Suddenly he's the last one standing, and he's just scattering around, running around, and eventually just falls over dead. I mean, he has a buyback ready, but what is that going to do when you're by yourself? I'll give you a quick answer. Absolutely nothing. Looking like we're at the end.
Yeah, I think that this is more or less the conclusion of this game. They can either go to the top or bottom lane. Doesn't really matter. Looks like they might just split push it a little bit. Nope, Balfagor is just running right at it. He's got the creep wave on command.
Luna going top to push that out. Doesn't want to let the lane get to that river.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to keep all their towers. They haven't lost a single one.
Okay. Getting a laugh right there as they take out Pharaoh. Now Corrupted Disciple. Not gonna use the conduit yet. There we go. He pops the conduit up. Swap in, so he's gonna get some nice damage here. He is sapping quite a bit, but it doesn't matter when you're dead. Getting the hell on Newerth. Oh boy. Deadwood, you're also dead. There it is.
There's the GG's being
felt like it was coming, and eventually it does. But hey, valiant effort. Again, it's not going to sit here harping on it too much. Obviously, the risky Alchemist Bones pickup, it really goes back to, as I continue to suggest, more so the fight that happened after. Going the pick, I don't think it was 100% the wrong decision. It was just getting engaged in that fight that you lost. That's what happened. It was a risky item.
It's just a risk versus a reward assessment, and it just, honestly, the risk is what won out this game. It was risky, and yeah, he found that death before the Alchemist Bones got rolling for him, and kind of the rest is history.
Well, that means we now have 8 teams remaining here in this tournament, and that also means for today that is going to be it as far as coverage goes. But it sounds like, so I'm not mistaken, the 19th and the 20th, so not next weekend, but the following weekend, will be the continuation of this event. So looking forward to that already. I personally do plan to come back, and I believe same for you, ezfullclan.
Absolutely.
Casting, awesome. But yeah, I suppose we can start the wrap up for the day. So as far as myself, again, obviously it goes back to I always love coming back as someone. You guys know this.
Great job, guys. And, you already mentioned Clantons, but I figure I might as well give him another shout out. I mean, this is a fantastic little event we have going on for our beloved Han community, and happy to be a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap this up. Day number 1, the round of 16 has come to a conclusion for ClanTour 2.0. We'll see you on the 19th, not next week, but the following one, as we continue on to the round of 8. We get started with the best out of 3s, all the way to the grand finals, which will be a best out of 5. So I'm BreakyCPK, joined by ezfullclan. Shout out to Clantons. Have a good night. We'll see you next time. Until then.